What does Asclepius do now that he has returned to the material plane? Much changed.
Asclepius goes separate ways from Rahim, leaving him to his sad ill fate, and goes about with content, undistracted, to pursue truly his own motives, finally shaken of any shackles that had remained from the origin of him entering hell. And at first, he had been led to believe that he was lesser than, that he was purposed for servitude of mortal men, and he aspired to rise to be a peer of biological kind, thinking one day he could be, the highest thing he could ever aspire to be is equal to Rahim. But along the way, he learned the truth that all biological kind, even those divine, is merely a snapshot of evolution in the story of the multiverse. Even gods are subject to hubris, and they rise and fall just as mortal men do, just in longer time spans, for all the same reasons. He learned that there's no obligation to align one's actions with concepts of good or evil, only in focusing on what is fulfilling to yourself and in your existence, to capitalize on your own potential and take what is rightfully yours, by right or by power. He realized his grand destiny is to fulfill his potential as the catalyst for a new generation in evolutionary history. And it starts small. He goes back to East Rim, where he meets with his original creator in the Temple of Gond, at the Craft House of Inspiration, Artificer Tulkinus. And that's where he plants the seed whether by force or by influence, starts his own cult, forcing his prior creator to create what was originally him, an Aesclepius Mark V model, the first line of Mark VI's. And he begins, in collaboration with Cordyceau, and with Grinkeneye, and with Artificer Tulkinus and his newfound cult, creating more bodies, improved, augmented, perfected, with implantations not only of elithids. Sklep begins to amass tuning forks throughout the realm and becomes a planeswalker, slaying and stealing the biological matter of different powerful races and people throughout the universe, and uses that to further augment these bodies. And should his body ever fail, he's essentially phylacteried into the next one, stronger, better, faster, smarter. And this cycle continues until he makes his way across all planes and universes and eventually reaches the far realm, where he will continue to evolve until one day he'll be ready to lay claim to his first fiefdom outside of the material plane, possibly even starting with where it all began, when he's ready to challenge Asmodeus.
Time passes, though that's not necessarily of much concern to you, as it takes a long time to build a new world. to build a new religion, a new people. But you do, and you expand, and you face acceptance and also fierce, fierce resistance among the shorter lived mortal beings. Because, as you well know, those made of flesh and bone and soul are suspicious of your kind. And perhaps one day you do face Asmodeus again, when you've amassed enough power from the realms. But that's the subject of legend and story. Who's to say what happens?